Morning, Nancy. Good evening. Good morning, Judy.
Judy.
And good morning to everybody watching on the live stream and most especially watching on the replay. We have a very special guest today. We're talking about Judy Lao's fruitcake. A lot of you might have tasted this throughout the years, no? And we'll be talking
Years.
to years and Judy Lao. Paano ba nag-start to? How did it start? How did who is Judy Lao and what's the secret of the fruitcake? Kung sasabihin niya. So,
Okay.
my name is Anton Diaz, founder of Our Awesome Planet, together with the Adobo Queen Nancy Lumen Reyes, live streaming in Houston, Texas, with Judy Lao, known for her iconic fruitcakes.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you do
Yeah.
a short English short film? All right. Yes, I'm excited. Kasi ano na to, season of fruitcakes. No?
Yeah, it is. Yes. Good morning, Anton, and good evening, Nancy.
Teka
Yes.
muna, before you say something. Explain to them what's the Jude period. Because some people still call you Jude.
Yeah.
Mm.
Some people call me Jude. Some people call me even call up to say Judd. Actually, I don't know why it was in the 1975, and I just make my name Jude period D. So it's Judy. Actually, it's Judy. And if you see the the logo now, it's a fish. Fish be with you. Did
Oh,
you
very nice.
notice?
Okay.
Yeah. The logo is a fish.
Okay.
Fish be with you. Yeah.
Okay. When was your first fruitcake born?
1975. Could you
Wow.
believe it? It's been like 46 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost my age.
Yeah, yeah. sometimes when people ask me when did I start my fruitcake, I said I started doing fruitcake when I was 3.
With your mom, with Ama.
No,
How
actually
did
we
it start at 3? Yeah.
okay. After graduation, after I studied fine arts in University of Santo Tomas. After graduation, I went to Europe with my mom, and then when we were in Zurich, in one of those restaurants, they serve a cake a la mode. And when I was asking the waiter, what is the cake? And he said, fruit cake. And for me, it's like in my mind, when we were kids, fruit cake is not edible. Our fruitcake at that time, usually, we remember our fruitcake at that time, it's usually from the States. And it is packed
Nuts.
with dates, things like that. And the wine or the brandy is so strong, especially when we were kids, we were so afraid of tasting the fruitcake. So at that time, I was thinking, why is it that they have a fruitcake that is edible, while in the Philippines, we do not have something like this? So when I came back, actually I have no training in culinary. Remember, Nancy, for me during that time, I just loved to read cookbooks, and we go through a lot of cookbooks. And when I came up with something like a fruit cake, I start giving to friends, giving to relatives, and then when they came back for more, I figure out that my God, the ingredients is so expensive; they have to pay me. So I started it. That was how it was started. And usually during that time, a lot of people do not like fruitcake. I describe myself something like an encyclopedia salesman. Remember during the 70s, when people sell encyclopedia, they have the encyclopedia with them and go house to house. I
Yeah.
was doing something like this with my fruitcake at that time.
Okay.
Because when you tell people that you're selling fruitcake, they don't even know what is fruitcake. Especially, I'm a Chinese. Especially for the Chinese community, they've never heard of fruitcake. So I was like giving everybody a taste of what fruitcake is all about.
Only during Christmas or all season?
Only Oh, only during Christmas. Remember, during that time in the 70s, when we buy walnuts, we have to go to Cartimar or we
Yeah.
have to go to Angeles, right? What's that? Napo Q Mart? Is it Napo Q Mart that we buy walnuts? And it's
Also
only
in
during the,
in Quiapo.
yeah,
Remember?
Quiapo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quiapo. Kilion.
Killion for
Yeah,
the
I
glazed
was
food,
the, yeah,
etc.
yes. I was the Suki of Kilion for more than 46 years.
Yeah.
So when his daughter joined the Tuti Foundation and she said that she's from the grocery in Quiapo, immediately I was asking her, is it Kilion? So that means to say she wasn't born yet when I was their customer already.
I'm not even sure if Anton was born yet nung nag-first Yeah, well, we'll
Anton
ask
is not.
Anton later. Yeah.
Probably not.
Hindi pa ba, Anton? You weren't born yet?
Kailan? Nung
The first fruitcake was born.
hindi,
Sabay
hindi,
pa.
74 ako eh. So,
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh.
you're only 1 year old.
one year
Yeah!
old.
Only 1 year old.
May fruitcake na pala.
And I was extremely lucky. Telling you the truth, I was extremely lucky because, like in our family, we don't drink. Okay, so whatever wine that we have, it's usually during the Christmas that somebody send us some hampers, and then that's where the wine comes from, right? But I have a friend. They own a winery, and she said, as a teenager, she delivers cherry brandy to Quiapo. There was an old lady, a German, a German old lady who makes fruitcake. I think during our time she wasn't there anymore, but my friend was telling me about it, and she told me that you try our cherry brandy. So that's how we started. Also, we have a lot of. I was lucky enough to have a lot of friends who was telling me, "Why don't you use this? Why don't you use that?" Things like that through the years. I feel so lucky actually.
Okay.
Okay. And then how did it grow?
Mm-mm.
Well, every year gradually good friends come back for more. And then I remember there was one year my brother said, you're nothing actually because you only sell to friends and mom's classmates, my classmates, and things like that. No, siblings always put you down. They have that
Oo.
talent, right? And then,
I
of course, you
agree.
feel so bad. You feel so bad, right? Maybe he's right. You don't sell to outsiders except your circle of friends or your mom's friends, classmates, things like that. I remember, I have to thank Nancy actually. 1995, Nancy came up with the best of Christmas goodies, and I was one of them. Remember, Nancy?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, ano nangyari? Ano
Yeah,
nangyari?
Patok.
Patok?
yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but because naman your product was there. But when did you do your box? Later we will show. I think that was one factor that people said, "Wow, this is classy," and the
Yeah.
box itself was very classy.
Oh,
Diba?
remember, I am a fine arts graduate actually.
Yeah.
Not to say after graduation I never work with anything relevant to fine arts. Sad to say, the only artistic work that I did is my packaging. And when we were
No,
kids,
excuse me, Anton. She's a cartoonist. She does cartoons.
it's
Okay.
not
Yeah,
so
meron siyang cartoon,
foundation.
she has a cartoon special for her society, Tsuchi. Yeah,
Wow, galing
you
ah.
got that, Judy.
Yeah, the Chochi Foundation.
Okay,
Well,
later.
since we were kids, our business, my dad's business is with Japan, so he always bring home a lot of packaging. The Japanese, they really know how to package
Ganda
things.
'no, ang ganda.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang you always admire them like they are able to do all this packaging. So in my mind, if I wanted to come up with a product, I want it to be beautiful as well.
Uh-huh.
Just to present something that is from the Philippines that is worthy. So I came up with the packaging actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Now,
glossy and everything and classy and really worth giving away
Yeah.
as a gift.
oh,
Usually we always said that like for fruitcake, it is something that you give to somebody who has everything already. Somebody who has everything, what can you give them? Right? It is something
Mm-hmm.
special, especially like we don't make that much fruitcake by December, usually by December 18, 19, 20, we're out of stock. So people assume that okay, you have to buy early. If not, you'll be out of stock. Will be out of stock. There
oo,
were
wala na.
times, yeah. Even my husband was complaining that there isn't any fruitcake for our house. No, we don't have. We run out of fruitcakes. And there was one year, even so funny. There was one year. I know one of my customer. He will buy this year and will consume it next year.
Next
So when
year.
we really ran out of stock, I called him up and said, "Can I borrow your fruitcakes?" Because he always buy a lot. He bought a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So we just borrow his fruitcake to sell, and then later January we will make fruitcakes again and return to him. Yun.
So, question, let's do a fruitcake 101. What is it really made of ba? And what's the shelf life? Matagal ba talaga to?
Okay.
What makes it, longer
That's
shelf life? Yeah.
that's a very very extremely good question.
Yeah.
According to Google, the fruitcake can last for 125 years.
Yes.
Nancy, remember
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
the brother of is it Sogi Fernandez, the director?
Yeah.
Her brother, John, bought a fruitcake from us. And then after 7 years, he called us up and said, yes, one of our fruitcakes, and it wasn't refrigerated for 7 years. So immediately my reaction was like, I don't know you. Why are you doing this to us? I was thinking, this is a crank call. My God, this is a
Uh-uh.
crank call. What are you doing this to us? Like, I don't know you. And then when he said, I'm the brother of Suki Fernandez. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. And then I asked him, why is it that you didn't put your fruitcake in the ref? He said, because in London, they have a fruitcake that was there for 125 years. And I said, London is very cold. We're a tropical island.
Oo,
You cannot
yeah.
put a fruitcake outside for like 7 years. And when he said, yeah, I want to see what happened. And I told him, I want to see what happened too, right? So we sent somebody over that night when he said he was going to open it. And when he opened it, he said, the whole house smells so wonderful. The
Yeah.
whole house. What he had was the coffee fruit cake. That's one of Doreen Fernandez' favorite. Doreen
Ah,
Fernandez, every year she said she loves the coffee fruit cake. Yeah. Nancy was the one who helped me come up with the recipe for the coffee fruit cake. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
Nancy?
Yeah.
We
talaga?
spent a lot of time. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because coffee, after, look at your coffee. After 5 minutes, the smell is not there anymore. It's
Oh,
very
yes,
elusive.
nawawala.
It's
Mm-hmm.
very elusive, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Nancy and I remember, Nancy, how many months did we spend just to come up with that coffee fruit cake?
No, I just kept tasting, eating, tasting for food. You were doing the work. I was just there.
Yeah. And at the end, we were able to get the essence, the flavoring from Japan. And at that time, uso yun eh. At that time, uso is Blue Mountain Coffee.
Yeah.
That's why
Uh-huh.
we name our coffee fruit cake Judy Blue. I think I have it here. We name it
Judy
Judy.
Blue.
Yeah, because it's Blue Mountain Coffee.
Blue
Yeah.
Mountain.
So,
Yeah.
da-da!
Until now? Until now ba? Judy
Yeah,
Blue.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Judy Blue.
Yan yung
Yeah.
favorite ni Doreen. The Judy
Yes.
Blue. Wow, ang galing,
Yeah,
ah.
the Judy
And
Blue.
no, just a question on the fruitcake. So anong kasama niyan? The cherry brandy, a
Cherry
normal cake?
brandy. Usually, uh, all the Filipinos call it the fruity fruity, but the real name is glazed fruit, walnuts. I don't use kasoy. I only use walnuts. Of
Yeah.
course, it's the egg, brown sugar, molasses. Okay, I have different fruit cakes because I some of my fruit cakes I don't use molasses. I use honey. Okay,
Mm,
and then some of the fruit cakes, I don't use the fruit glaze. I use cranberry and apricot. Uh, I have a lot of varieties actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I keep on inventing new ones. And we even have fruitcake cookies because I have one of my clients, the customers from Cebu. And
oo.
every year when he comes over, he will challenge me something like, Judy, can you give me a fruitcake that I don't need to use a knife. And every year, probably after 5 years, I just thought, okay, this is it. I make a fruitcake cookies. I will call it the Chewy Chewkies.
Yeah.
It's a
But
tongue twister. I don't know why I called it the Chewy Chewkies at that time. Maybe I was
you no, at this point, those who have your fruitcakes, they should know, like Anton,
Oo.
in Fruitcake 101, what is the proper temperature and how do you really serve Judy's
Oo.
fruitcakes?
Papaano
young.
ba?
Okay. Uh, it has to be not not really frozen ha kasi some people put it in the freezer. Actually, ref lang okay na siya. Okay na
Ref.
siya because you have to have it ref in the ref first, probably the night before you're going to consume it, the night before. Because if we use fresh butter, okay, if you don't have it refrigerated, when you are cutting it, parang it crumbles. Krok, 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 krok. So people thought that something is wrong with the fruit cake. Pero if you have it refed beforehand and you cut it, okay siya. It's
Mm,
okay. And if you really want to have it like 10 years, 20 years from now, I have one customer who had my fruitcake for 20 years. Sayang nga she lost her fruitcake during Ondoy.
ah, pero
During
no,
Ondoy.
no amag, no molds, no
No,
nothing.
no,
Oo,
no,
'no.
no, 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 no. No,
Okay.
no amak.
You
The
how do you wrap? Let's say binuksan mo na,
yes.
na-open mo na. So ngayon
Uh,
nabawasan na.
yeah.
How will you wrap it in tela or whatever like cheese?
Yes, the best talaga. It's so hard to get the tela now, unlike before. Mga
Mm.
40 years ago, it's easy to get the tela. Remember,
Oo.
nowadays it's not easy. So parchment paper is good enough.
Okay.
Parchment
Parchment
Alright.
paper.
paper is good enough. Kasi if you use aluminum, the aluminum it's into the fruitcake.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not
Ah,
good. You
Yeah.
will see your aluminum yun.
Oo.
It's into the fruitcake because they love the fruitcake also. They start eating the fruitcake. Yeah.
Okay. And then
So
can you add
I said,
more cherry brandy or wine to it if you want?
yes, yes. Definitely, probably every year you age it, you continuously
Yeah.
age it. In fact, I have a friend who is from PAL. Last week, he just told me that the mom just passed away, and he was asking for to buy fruit cakes. And then he said, well, he found one of our fruit cakes 2019 in the ref of his mom. And he said, wow, the fruitcake still tastes good. It
Yeah.
still tastes the same. So that's 2019. That's 2 years. And
Yeah.
they never do anything with the fruitcake. They just put it in the ref. And that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
so
And
it's the brandy that preserves it?
Yes. I don't
molasses.
put any preservatives. No preservatives at all. It's
Mhm.
just the brandy. The brandy works as its preservatives.
I
Yeah.
think when Judy started to diversify and expand her product line based on the fruitcake, that's when she started getting bigger. Like what her brother said, now the challenge was she already went outward. Diba,
Yeah.
Judy? There are
Yes.
countries that
Uh,
order your fruitcakes.
yes, they do. Usually, I have customers all the way from Singapore, Japan. I have Indian customers. I
Hmm.
have Indian customers. Like I think it's today, Diwali. Is
Yeah,
it
Diwali.
Diwali? Yeah, they buy a lot from me for the Diwali,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and
Diwali. Yes.
yeah, Diwali, and also Nancy, your alma mater. I think it's the Virgin. Are they the Virgin sisters, the nuns?
And the
Saint
Virgin.
Teresa.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I have a customer. She buys fruitcake from me every year because the nuns love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. Probably, yeah. Because it's very European in a way.
Yeah.
What's the
And from
what?
the
Yeah.
states, there are a lot of people who bought for the states. And when you see my packaging, actually, if you are bringing them to the states, I told them they can put two fruitcakes in one box. Let me show you. This box, actually, this box you can put two fruitcakes vertically. So it will be easy for them to pack in their suitcase.
Uh huh.
Yun. Instead of bringing all these big packages of fruitcakes with you,
Mm-mm.
yun.
Yeah. When does fruitcake baking start?
Oo.
We
Kailan ba ang
start,
season yan?
yeah, we start around August, September, October, and we only use egg yolks. That's why I think my neighbors around here or friends, they know that I have plenty of egg whites around. Every day
Ah.
there's plenty of egg whites. And sometimes we freeze the egg whites. We put it into plastic tubes, the plastic tubes, and then we freeze them. A lot of people get egg whites from us. Even the nuns get egg whites from us to make lengua de gato.
Mm-hmm.
And also a lot of people, those who have cancer, they need egg whites. Yeah, we give egg whites for free naman. Just they
Okay.
just come and pick them up. That's it. Yun.
Okay.
Mm.
Anton,
Yes.
Judy has many hats. Other than being the fruitcake queen, Judy, you can talk to us about sushi and
Yeah.
master
Yeah.
chicken.
So,
Let's show
so
we can show the photos para
yeah.
kan ano.
Okay.
Okay. I have been with the Chuchi Foundation for 23 years. This foundation, this is a charity foundation. It started in Taiwan. We It's been like 55 years for the Chuchi Foundation, and in the Philippines, this weekend we are celebrating our 27th year
Uh-huh.
for
Wow!
Chuchi. Yeah, I think the most significant is what we did during Ondoy in
Yes.
Marikina, and also in Tacloban or
Tacloban.
Tacloban and Ormoc, and Bohol during the earthquake. Well, the same year, 2013, we have the Zamboanga siege, the Bohol earthquake, and then the Yolanda. And Chuchi has been there until this time, the pandemic. We are quite busy also during this pandemic. Since last year, we were supplying PPE to the frontliners, and we also give out rice and relief goods, something like cooking oil, soy sauce, sugar, salt, and whatever they need for the communities, usually for the communities, and even the tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers. Plenty, a lot of things going on for us, actually.
Um,
The Chuchi
Judy,
Foundation.
tell them. I think I like very much the policy that you had. Maybe Anton would like to know. During Ondoy, you people
Oh,
had to clean and help clean, but they had no money. They had no use. You did a policy of work for cash.
Cash
I
for
think
work.
that cash for
Cash,
cash
work.
for
I
work.
think that
cash
helped
for
a
work.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we stepped into Marikina, during that time we were in Langka, Malanday and Tumana. That's the worst place actually in Marikina. They were the worst. You can see it's muddy. It's muddy talaga. So when we call up our Dharma master and told her the situation, we sent pictures to her, and she said, ask them to do cash for work. We do not understand what is cash for work at that time. So we just ask, she said, just ask them to help clean up and you pay them. So at that time, it was like, I asked one of the barangay captain, I said, if we ask all of these young people here, the young men there just sitting around, if we ask them to help clean up their community, how much do we have to pay them? And the barangay captain said, maybe 100, 150. So we called up the Dharma master and said, our barangay captain said 100 or 150. Immediately, what she asked us was, what is your minimum wage? And we were like, our minimum wage is 382 pesos. And she said, during this time, are you trying to cut down the price, the salary of these people? Actually, we don't call it salary. It's it's actually a something like a help. But we don't want to just give people money. Parang you make them like pulubi if you just give
Yeah.
them money, right? We still want to maintain their dignity.
Mm-hmm.
Parang they are exchanging their work for the money. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that time, it was like every man, woman, and child, as long as they register with their barangay that they will join the cash for work, even if they are cleaning their house. It's important they have to clean their house first because
Mhm.
our experience before in Infanta landslide, we clean up the street. After we clean up the streets, everybody throw their basura out into the street. So the next day we have to clean the streets again. But when we do the cash for work in Marikina, they started cleaning their house. The basura came out from their house. Okay, that's the time we clean up the streets naman. So in Marikina, within 18 days, we were able to clean up the whole Marikina. At that time,
Wow.
remember the first day there were only 32 people who registered for cash for work because in their mind they were thinking, what are these Chinese doing here? Especially our uniform. Look at our uniform. Our uniform, we have blue shirt and white pants. I remember one of those
Oo
old
nga.
ladies come to me and said, Ma'am, ang dumi-dumi dito, ba't naka-white pants ka? Just almost like, that is our uniform. I'm sorry, but that's our uniform. So for them, it's like, you guys must be crazy. So when they said we are going to pay them, at that time, it was per day, it was 400 pesos per day. So initially, what they think was that crazy, these Chinese are crazy. So when they realized that we're really giving out money, I think the last day at the 18th day, there
18th
was
day.
more than 10,000 people that come in
Wow.
that joined the
Talaga?
work. Yeah,
Really? And you paid all of them?
exactly. Well, take all of them. As long as they're cleaning, you should know how many people joined naman in Yolanda.
How
Yolanda,
many in
we were in
Yolanda?
Tacloban. Tacloban, my God, like 30,000 people the last day. We cleaned up Tacloban
In
in
how many?
19 days. 19 days. Kasi ito, Tacloban naman, I remember when we touched down, when the plane touched down at Tacloban, talagang you cannot, I started to cry kasi I have seen so many of these calamities. Okay, coconut tree. The coconut tree in uh, Typhoon, coconut tree, it's like an umbrella, zip, down, like that, like an umbrella close.
Sad.
But in Tacloban, the moment we touch down, you see the coconut tree, putol na eh. Putol. And the
Putol, oo.
only building that I saw standing, one is the central bank, the other one is the Iglesia ni Cristo. That's the only two building that I saw. Wala, everything was flattened. Everything was flattened. And we still see corpse in the street. And the smell was horrible. I tell you, the smell was horrible. And in the evening, everything was so dark. Everything was so dark. And far away, you can see trickles of light. That means to say something is burning, either basura or whatever, something is
Goma.
burning.
Goma.
Yeah, but the smell is horrible. I tell you, the smell is smell of death. In Tacloban, what we did is 500 pesos per day. The same thing. Every man, woman, and child. All these calamities, when you see these calamities,
Mhm.
there are a lot of Filipinos who have a very good heart. They bring a lot of like Lucky Me, the Skyflakes, even water. Some people in their private car, when they open the trunk, you will see water. Okay, Lucky Me. Pero one thing, for these people who went through such a calamity, they might need to buy underwear. Do you know that? But they don't have the money. Everything was washed away. But when we give them cash for work, this money, they will go to their suki and then knock on the door, like, I want to buy underwear. So the suki will go to the supplier. And the supplier as well will go to another supplier. And then they have all of these things that they really, really need. Okay, so that is the reason the economy of these cities was turning now, it was running already.
Hmm.
That's how the community can be saved. And then that is the reason why within a very short period of time, everything was back to normal. You can see that when people have the money, they can buy what do you call this? They can buy the hierro, they can buy the wood, the plywood to rebuild their houses.
Yeah.
And during Tacloban, during the Yolanda, the best part is that aside from the cash for work, we even give
Mhm.
them what we call cash for relief. Cash for relief is that if the family unit is composed of two-person, we give them 8,000 pesos. That is one shot deal, just one 8,000.
Fun siya,
If
no?
the money, the family unit is three or four people, they get 12,000. If the family unit is five people and above, they will get 15,000. You see, when we were giving the money to these people, you see these people when they're holding the cash in their hands were shaking. Their hands were shaking, and you see tears. Talagang for them, like in their lifetime, they have never hold so much money, and there's no string attached. One time, so as long as they were registered in their barangay, they come over. That's what we give them. And you see some people, different way of spending money. We've encountered people who just have a party with that money. After
Okay.
1 year, 2 year, 2 years, when we went to Tacloban again, nagiging ano na lang, whatever, wala. But some people with that 15,000 or even 12,000, they buy coco lumber. Kasi there are so many coconut trees that will fallen, hindi ba? All you need to do
Oo.
is buy a chainsaw. You buy a chainsaw, you start cutting this coconut tree. And then they sell the lumber as coco lumber. Within 1 year, nagiging milyonaryo na siya eh.
That's
He
good.
has
Galing,
his
ah.
own van. When initially he has his tricycle. And then after the tricycle, he was earning money. He has a little jeep and a little van. See,
Okay.
yun lang. It rolls. It really rolls. It can
Maybe
help people. Mm.
maybe another interview would be just on sushi alone, because that
Oo.
alone has a very extensive story.
Oo.
Yeah.
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 Tsaka ano, I admire them nga sa Tacloban. First time I encountered them in Tacloban, they were the first, no,
First
Yeah.
organization,
responders.
first
Oo.
responder, even before the government nga ata, eh. But,
Actually the government tried their best, but it's so hard. You have to understand this. Out of the more than 2,000 city employees, all of a lot of these employees, they are also victims. Their
all
family
of them are
members died.
victims also, no? Oo.
Their family members died. We don't expect them to go back to work. They cannot find their wife, their children. They
Yeah.
are
Oo.
victims also.
Yeah. That's
We really have to understand them.
okay.
Kawawa din sila. Biro
Mm.
mo, city government, I think even the mayor was a victim, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, kawawa talaga. But actually, for us, no, what we are looking is calamities. There is a way of reviving. But if it's a war, wala. Calamities, maybe 1 month, 2 months, okay lang. But if it is a
Pwede, oo.
war, wala. Years. It will take years.
Oo.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a different ano. Let's show the photos
All
again.
right.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
We rebuild houses. We do prefab houses for them. We also do prefab classrooms for the children. I remember during that time, our I think Minister of Education, he is a priest from LaSalle University, and he said the children have to go back to school because when the children are at home, biro mo, some of them, their parents pass away or some siblings pass away, and then when they go back to school, at least they can be with people they are familiar with. They are better because psychologically they are impaired in such a way. So we rebuild houses for them. We rebuild homes for them. We have 1,500 units of the prefab houses in Ormoc. And in Palo Leyte, we have something like 256. Yun.
Okay. I think that's in some of the photos,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
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 There.
This is Ormoc. This is what
Wow.
we call the Great Love Village. Yeah.
So it's people, it's populated now?
Yeah, it is. And we teach them livelihood. We
Okay.
teach them how to use sewing, livelihood, and we teach them how to bake.
All
Because
right.
most of them are not educated, so
How
we
how
have to teach them.
how's the administration of this? I mean, is it government
It's like
or
no, by themselves. They
oh,
are like a barangay already. They are like a barangay.
okay.
Yeah.
Galing.
Yeah, it's very well taken care of. Until today, we still have Tuchi people around there, and in Ormoc, the the young people there, this time they were sent to Taiwan to learn caregiver, to become caregiver.
Mm.
Very
Ang galing,
successful, very successful,
galing.
Okay.
very
Parang giving back,
successful.
'no? It's a whole
Yeah,
Yeah.
cycle.
parang we really try to uplift
Yeah.
their life.
Lives.
Yun. Yeah.
Galing.
Mm.
That's very nice. Okay.
That's the whole family.
Name
That's part of the whole family. That's part only.
Okay. Ama, tell us something
Amma
about
in the
Ama.
middle. My mom is 92 now. Well, she's a very good cook, actually. Actually, my dad is a very good cook also. I start learning how to cook from my dad when I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What food? That's part of your culinary DNA. It's not just fruitcake.
Yeah, my mom, actually, the whole family loves to cook. We have very good cooks in the family
When you
because
cook, what do you cook? Like Chinese food
anything,
lang or ano? And besides,
anything.
later you have to talk about being vegetarian when you change to become vegetarian.
Yeah, anything. Well, a lot of us travels, and then whatever we tested abroad, we want to bring them back.
Okay.
That's how my dad also teach us. He was in Japan most of the time when we were kids. He went to I think he went to Taiwan in no, in Japan, no, in 1956.
Mm-hmm.
That was before every one of us was born, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Ay, ito
Yeah.
yung mga white pants.
Oh yeah, this is the
White pants.
family members, all the family members who are members of the Chuchi Foundation. That is Palo Leyte. Yun. My mom is the one
Okay.
in the middle. My sisters, brother-in-law, niece, yun. My nieces, yun.
Ang galing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all work together for the good.
That's good,
Yeah.
yeah.
O ano pa yan?
Mom's birthday. My mom's birthday is the end of December, so we always celebrate it with same as Christmas. And then some of those who are in the States, in Canada, come back. I think our family members, as of now, we have more than 70 now. My mom is a great
Wow.
great grandmother. I
Galing,
think
galing.
she has more than 24 great, no, children, great grandchildren. Great. So she's
Galing,
great.
galing ng blessing, no? Galing.
Yeah.
Tsaka ganyan ng mga Chinese, may isang color lang ng suot pag ano,
Oh yeah,
Ang
birthday. So
birthday.
pula.
mm, red.
Wala.
Everybody should be in red.
So,
Yes.
paano nung pandemic? Wala ng pandemic. Virtual na
Wala
'to.
na. Just delivery of food to each house.
Oh, saan
Virtual
'to?
lang. Ayun, this was Nancy, this is
Barkada namin.
yes, oh,
Barkada niyo,
Fiesta
okey.
Verde. Fiesta Verde is the bazaar of the Chuchi Foundation.
Ah,
We hold
Fiesta
that
Verde.
every October. We sell gimmick namin, we sell vegetarian lumpia.
Lu
Everything is vegetarian if Chuchi Foundation holds a bazaar. That's
Nice.
Edith and that's Michi Borromeo, Edith Singyan, and
Oo
the
nga.
most beautiful girl at the back.
Yeah,
Yay!
so, no, you mentioned already vegetarian, so you might as well pick
Oo.
up on that. When did you become vegetarian? And Anton, it says here cheat one. It should be
Ay,
G.
sorry.
What?
When did you become vegetarian? Why?
1998, when the first time I went to see the Dharma Master of the Tuchi Foundation. I have no idea at all. I went to Tuchi Foundation because my best friend since I was 9 years old is a Taiwanese. And then she was very active in Tuchi Foundation. So when I went to see her, we met the Dharma Master. What I didn't
Yeah,
know at that time,
what happened?
for I'm not a Buddhist, but for Buddhism, they always have this thing like you become a disciple or something like that. I have no idea at all. But my friend said, "Why don't you become a disciple?" And out of like, oh, why don't I become a disciple anyway? And then after, it's just a very, very, very simple blessing, and that's about it. And then afterwards, in front of the Dharma Master, I told my friend, I've heard so much about the beef noodles in Taiwan, in Taipei. I said, why don't we go to the Taipei streets and have some beef noodles? And she said, yeah, later on, later on. And afterwards, we were sitting in front of the Dharma Master, and then it was dinner time. And then they were serving these vegetarian noodles or something. I kept looking at my friend like, this is not beef noodles, you know. And my friends keep on knocking at me. Yeah. After that, I don't know what happened when I came back to Manila. I just cannot eat meat. Nancy, remember, all of you guys were very mad with me. Even even my neighbor always said that if ever the lot beside me is up for sale, she want to buy the lot beside me because I'll be the one cooking for her. Nancy, remember we were cooking all the time, cooking this,
Yeah.
cooking that. And when I became vegetarian, all of them were very disappointed.
Wala,
What happened to Judy Lao? She is a vegetarian
wala
now.
ng steak. Hindi na kami kumakain
Wala
ng steak.
na. No more steak, no more turkeys. Wala na. Vegetarian everything. And
Yeah. Anyway.
personally, I don't like tofu or tokwa. I really do not like this. So where am I supposed to get my protein?
Why don't you share very, very quickly your caldereta?
Yeah, I do caldereta, like the real
Yeah,
thing.
maybe a good source of fake meat. Can you let them know?
Okay. In Cebu, there is this Chinese entrepreneur. He said that meat or beef is very expensive for the Filipinos, but the Filipinos need to have protein. So he came up with, he called it the magic meat. It's made of soybeans and it's really good. I use that to cook caldereta. So that's the veggie meat that I used. And then we have the same thing, the pickles, the onion, garlic, pickles, and what
Where
Nancy.
can they buy that meat?
Yeah. Oh, they have it. There, it's a company. I always buy from them. I always buy mga 10 kilos, 5 kilos in Banawe. In Banawe.
Mm.
They call it the magic meat. I think Banawe there is this vegetarian store. I cannot
Yeah.
remember. Harvest? Is it Harvest or Boti? They
Yeah.
sell that. They sell that. They call it
Okay.
the
Mm.
magic meat.
All
Yeah,
right.
they
Okay.
call it the magic meat.
Okay, more pictures daw, sabi ni... Oh, and
Yeah.
kasi, Anton, just for your information, I considered myself her best friend Filipino chapter. Maraming chapter yan eh. Ako yung self-proclaimed best friend ni Judy Lao.
Si Judy.
And
Sisters. We
yeah,
are sisters
we
because
are
everybody said
sisters.
we look alike. Di ba?
Po, bakit Bishop ang tawagan niyo?
Naku, ayan na.
Ay, nako, we were blessed by Nancy, remember it was Jonah Trinidad who blessed us.
Yeah.
One is Pope, the other one is Bishop.
Yeah, no, because we
Wow.
always pray for each other.
Ah,
We have
oo.
so many good, ang babait namin. Pero itong picture na to, medyo lasing na kami ni Mitzi.
Sa-
Yeah, kami ni Mitzi ang umiinom. Si Judy yung pusher namin ng alak.
so si Mitzi pala kasama niyo. Mitzi is
Yeah,
partner.
yeah. Mitzi also is partly vegetarian now, no? I
Mitzi is
introduced them
vegetarian.
to each other
Yeah.
and then they became
Oh.
close. Yeah.
Remember, Nancy, you introduced us because we were in my museum. Remember for that when the world has nothing to eat. Remember that
Yeah.
activity?
So,
You have these crickets.
yeah.
You have some crickets, right?
Yeah, I made what was that? I made
Parang gelatin.
a
Parang
gelatin
gelatin.
cricket
Yeah.
gelatin. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
wow.
Cricket gelatin.
Oo,
Yeah.
in-close ko sa gelatin yung cricket. And actually masarap, nakain nila.
I didn't taste that. I'm afraid to taste that, and I'm vegetarian.
Okay,
And
and
the
then
one-
there's some more
yeah.
of us selling lumpia, eating
Yeah.
for free. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
Well,
the classic
that's-
fruitcake.
Yeah, that's the classic. That's the classic. Yeah.
And until now, ganyan pa rin yan itsura.
Ganyan pa rin. We never change anything. We never
Alright.
change anything. That's why some years back, there was one time we joined the bazaar in Rockwell, and you see these customers who came by. They were in their 40s probably, and some of them were saying when they were kids, when they after
Ay,
school,
galing,
their mother bring them to buy fruitcakes, and they keep on saying this is the one, this is the one, but the parents are not there anymore actually. And then but we never change any of our ingredients.
Ayan, Anton, sasali na yan sa Ultimate Taste Test. May mga
Oo.
bagong product yan.
Mga bagong product, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the
come on.
classic.
Yeah. Ayan, 1 million.
Sabi nga ni,
Oh.
sabi ni Marino kasi kusinero, watching from Mexico.
Wow.
Sabi niya, it's a fruitcake for everybody. Syempre nga,
Yeah.
parokya na yan.
Okay. More photos. What
So,
are
ano
those? Okay.
Okay,
what are those?
Those are the different. Okay, those at the left is the blue. That's why it's a bit darker, and then right top, we changed the design already. That's the prune cake, prune fruit cake. Ha? Kasi my printer keep on nagging me. Her favorite cake is prune cake, but I don't make prune cake. But I make a prune cake with wine as well. So it's coffee flavor. It's very nice. Actually, that's one of my favorite. Coffee prune cake.
The
And
one
then
galing.
yeah, and the one right
Below.
lower, that is the golden fruit cake. It's with cranberry and apricot. Yeah, and honey. We use honey.
Mhm.
That's more premium ba?
Yeah, it's
Hindi
more
naman.
premium. Pero like this year, we just decided like everything will have the same
Same price.
price. Yeah, same price na lang. Yun. Well, this is the Chinese newspaper telling everybody about a fruitcake years ago.
Okay.
Mm.
Sino
I
to?
think this
Ayun,
is
si Nancy.
Nancy. We
Ah,
can buy this
bakit may piano?
years
Wala.
ago, years ago.
All right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
packaging. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Mona
this,
Gonzalez. Hail the
yeah,
fruitcake lady.
Mona.
Fruitcake lady ka noon. Ngayon, fruitcake queen ka
Oo.
na.
Food,
Oo.
queen na siya
Kasi
ngayon.
What
I'm
award?
going,
What award was this? What award did you win?
uh, that's the coffee flavor nga eh.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right.
Ang
Jo
Oh,
daming
Johan
coverage.
Ramirez.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sino to?
Kasi I'm
Oh,
always with the adobo queen. That's why they call me the
no,
fruitcake queen
it's
na lang.
actually your people really like your fruitcake. You made a difference kasi, and it
Oo.
became a Filipino product that is, even if some of the ingredients are imported, made in the Philippines and exported. So very very ano. Okay. Explain please. Who is the other person
Ah,
there?
well, that's my daughter, Jamie. I think
So,
this was the Inquirer, the best of dessert of Vanji Reyes.
Yeah.
okay.
Vanji.
So, she's the one continuing it? Ganun ba?
Oh, she has her cocoa sugar. She has her own business.
She's
She thinks
separate.
that the
So
fruitcake is
who's
not
taking
challenging.
over the fruitcake business, or is
As
the
of
family
now, wala naman.
wala
Sometimes I
pa?
was thinking, well, if I'm gone, I think this one is gone. but
Well,
well,
no,
like
but Ige said we need more Judy Lao in our planet to make it more
yeah,
awesome.
Yan.
Yan,
my daughter
sabi.
You-
doesn't find this challenging enough. She's into kokoro, her coconut sugar,
Yeah,
and
I
she has
think she's
this.
also due for an interview because her product is also unique. I mean, she was one of the first to start the kokoro, coconut sugar.
She has
Oo,
this. I don't know how to pronounce it, Nancy. Erythro something. Funny name, but all those people who are into keto knows about it
Okay.
because
Maybe Anton knows. Anton, ano yun?
erythrothel something. That's for the keto sugar.
Uh-huh.
Sugar for the keto. It's
Ah,
for the young people. Like I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And before I keep on telling her, my God, cocoa sugar is so expensive. Our sugar is 60 pesos per kilo, right? Cocoa sugar is 2 or 300 pesos, if I'm not mistaken. And then this erythro something is 1,200 per kilo.
Wow.
And
wow.
people are buying. My God, the young generation must be very rich.
Of course, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
For
understand.
health, of course.
Yeah.
Very
They
health conscious.
Yeah.
Very
Mhm.
health
Now,
conscious.
thank you so much. Very inspiring. Siguro my last question lang is, what do you think is the secret behind the lasting power of the fruitcake? Kasi or your product, especially all throughout these years. Kasi we had a lot of products na nawala over the years. At the same time, during this time, ang dami ng new
Yeah.
products also that has been in the market, especially in the food gifts
Yeah.
and Christmas season. No? But you're still competing, parang you own that space. What is the
Yeah.
secret for
I
lasting power?
I think the fruitcake lasts so many years. It's because it's the memories. When we said
Yeah.
fruitcakes, immediately what's in our mind is Christmas. It's like Jose Marichan. When you said Christmas, Jose Marichan is there. Same as the fruitcake. And because since people like, oh, when they have fruitcake, the children are having the fruitcake as well. And when the children grows older and the parents are gone, they still have these memories. The memories lingers on,
Yeah.
and fruitcake is part of the memories.
I think fruitcake becomes part of somebody's culinary DNA also because
Oo.
Yes.
and as Judy was saying, memory. So again, we are back to storytelling or story remembering associated with food because that is what keeps the soul of the culinary DNA. And aside from your fruitcake, Judy, and your vegetarian, what other culinary DNAs that you have are also in the way you project um, your the sushi, the way the sushi people have cooked their food, it has stayed in my mind. And no wasting and the recycling and no sustainability. So it's the same like what we just had with Chitwan. These are the policies, world policies that are help shape us, put us back in shape, because the world is so magulo and unhealthy. So we need all this now. Even fruitcake, we need it.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
Yes.
Like for the Filipinos, is still a tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if
I
you have the
remember.
Noche Buena, you want to have a fruitcake, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Hindi lang, minsan ang fruitcake, Anton, nire-recycle.
Yeah, it goes around the world, right?
Goes around the world. Pinangriregalo ulit. Regaluhan ko. Kaya Anton, pag niregaluhan ka ni Judy ng fruitcake, huwag mong pamimigay. Kasi yung iba, ririgalo nila sa iba, impressive. In fact, Judy was telling me one time, somebody yata bought a fruitcake, tapos ginamit yung box, ang nilagay banana cake.
Meron, yeah, it's so funny nga.
Don't do that to Judy's
Yeah.
fruitcake!
Well, I take it as a compliment for the years I spent in UST for learning how to make boxes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, not only that, you also, remember, you also did cookbooks.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been starting.
All right.
cooking.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Maybe
you so much.
Judy, final message na lang for a lot of people who are looking for inspiration in the food industry and in a industry we're in. Any message to them, and especially to where I'm inspired with your Chuchi Foundation. I think that blesses the entire business also. Parang bumabalik rin lang, di ba? So any final message to people watching this?
I think no, for everybody who wants to go into business, the first thing that comes to our mind is not we want to get rich because we want to get into this business, but I think the most important thing is for us to share what we know. On top of that, we also want people to enjoy what we have. I think that's more important than getting rich, right?
Yes.
And for concern, we have to put our customers in such a way that they feel safe to have what we are giving them. I think
Okay.
that's more important.
Yeah. Bucket
Alright.
list. One last
Okay.
bucket list. One last bucket list.
What bucket list?
Ikaw, anong gusto mo pa? One more. One last.
One more? I
Hindi.
think for what for the fruitcakes?
Yeah, I
No,
don't know.
what's on your bucket list? Yeah. To do.
I don't. I'm a senior citizen already. I don't think I have any other things that I would like to have, except like the pandemic. Say goodbye to the pandemic, so that everybody will become normal again. Yeah, like last year, I cannot even have the employees come in because of this pandemic going on. We have to
Yeah.
we cannot have the employees coming in, and the
So,
customers are not allowed to come in also.
so now it's almost back to normal na. Your
Yeah, but
fruitcakes.
we're selling online naman.
All right.
We're selling online, and then we hope that our fruitcake really let people enjoy it and then have these memories with them, the tradition.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
the
so much.
inspiration. Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing your
Judy.
fruitcake story.
Yeah.
And guys, if you were watching this, please share this with your family and friends or interested with the fruitcake story of the fruitcake queen of the Philippines. Maraming salamat. Ang galing, galing. I'm
Thank you so
inspired.
much.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas!
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Live
Bye.
an awesome life, guys. Bye. Can you do a short clip?